Hello everyone, I'm H.A.K, and if you want to know what that stands for and what in the world it has to do with my new intro, feel free to ask me. Now, I plan to not really do a lot of video reviews until we start to get to the bigger movies to see in theaters. But earlier today, I went to a friend's birthday, and to celebrate, we went to see Won't Back Down. So, here's my review for it. So the story of Won't Back Down is, wait, if you don't want to know the plot yet, that's fine. Just go to this particular section of the timeline so you can skip this. Anyway, the story is about these two mothers. One of them is a teacher, the other is taking 4 jobs just to get her daughter into school. And they're both concerned about the education that's actually being taught at the school that one is actually teaching at and the other has her daughter going to school there. So they both try to work together along with a bunch of other teachers and parents and stuff like that to try to actually readjust the actual educational system concerning the teachers and all that stuff to try to give their children an actual education from that school. Now, before I saw this movie, I saw at least one trailer for this, and I predicted it wasn't going to be all that grand because it seemed very cliche. And yes, this is a very cliche movie, especially in the beginning and the end. Well, really in the extent that both of them but that both parts of the movie had very, very common cliches when it comes to movies in general. I would say roughly, but I think it gets away with it. Or well, what makes this movie good anyway, or well, specifically a nice movie, is just the fact that around the middle of the movie, we get more development and stuff like that for the story and the characters that well, pulls your heartstrings, really gets you a little emotional, and really hope that things work out for them. And plus, while it's full of cliches, to its credit, there were a couple that weren't there, which I am so glad that there weren't. Like, you know, the mom that isn't a teacher, not having a, well, not exactly having you know, like a sex scene or something like that. That was kind of hinted when it comes to her relationship with one of the guy teachers at the school. But other than that, yes, you have a fair idea as to what's going to happen, how it's going to turn out, long before you see them, long before you're even like 10 minutes into the movie. But again, it gets away with it because with the certain subject that it has and how they pull the strings of your heart when it comes to what these characters go through, particularly Viola Davis's character, which I'll say no more until I get to the actual character section of this review. So, I guess in that aspect it works as being an okay movie or a nice movie. It's not perfect at all because, again, it's full of cliches, but I guess it can pull enough of your heartstrings where it can get away with it, so you could still be fairly entertained. Okay, so actors and characters. Maggie Gyllenhaal as Jamie. Energetic, I think, would be the right way to describe her character. I mean, yes, she does get a little serious, which, again, is what makes this movie better. Or somewhat better, at least nice. But I guess even then, the key thing, I think what kept me thinking about her character the most was that she was very energetic and optimistic. I wouldn't say that was a bad thing, but that was definitely what that's what I kept thinking throughout most of the film, which was, yeesh, she's so full of energy. But again, still, she was very serious. She really cared about her daughter. She really wanted this to happen. She was willing to go the distance. So she did an all-around pretty good job, all things considered. Now, Viola Davis as Nona. Excellent. She was brilliant. She you really had to care for her the most, I think is the right way to put it, because just how she was being so emotional and really cared, or maybe not right away, of course, but just as the movie goes on, throughout the middle and some of the very end, she let out a very, very, very great performance. And she's just a really good actress. I mean, that's the thing. For the record, in my opinion, She should have won Best Actress for The Help, not Meryl Streep for Iron Lady. I understand that's Meryl Streep, and I'm sure she was awesome with that, but that's the thing. It's Meryl Streep. She's above the Academy Awards. So there's no point nominating her when she is too good for the Academy Awards in reality. So anyway, just so now that I got that off my chest, that's all I have to say. So yeah, Viola Davis should have won. She did an excellent job with this movie too. That's all there is. Now, Holly Hunter as Evelyn. I was pretty surprised to know that Holly Hunter was there at all. I mean, well, I guess it's just that I didn't know that she was going to be in there at all, and I haven't really seen much of her in general. I was talking to my dad about that after we saw the movie, and I think the only other movie I've seen her in theaters, like, ever would be, like, The Incredibles, and she's not exactly shown in it, so I guess the general thing to say is that she's that it's been a long time since I've last seen her in anything recent, so but she did a really good job too. I mean, she had this one monologue about her family when she was a little kid that I thought was pretty good, very, very touching. So yeah. And that's my review for Won't Back Down. It's very cliche-like, but I think you can enjoy it anyway, just on how it really gets you emotional and really caring about what is happening in this film with just the performances, the all-around subject. It could easily pull your heartstrings and just make you really, really care about what's happening. So altogether, I would give Won't Back Down a 60% out of 100. So if you want to see more of my reviews, feel free to check them out on my channel as far as video reviews go. But if you want to see more, log on to my blog at hacksreviews.blogspot.com, where I have hundreds of reviews that you could read and enjoy. Until then, everyone, I am Hack. And if you want to know what that stands for and what in the world it has to do with my intro, feel free to ask me.